Hello viewers, here's the Mindful Man reading the Eden Plot. January. The new year arrived uneventfully and I was sitting in my office one morning thinking about my meeting with Gunnersbury. It had been nearly 2 months since I'd sent him the papers about Eden Bottom and I'd heard nothing. Should I ring up and ask? Should I show my ability to stay cool, whatever the circumstances, and wait till he contacted me? I knew my reputation for toughness and decided to wait a few days longer. Then Victoria came in with some files I had requested and laid them on my desk. Here you are, Mr. Acton, she said. Electricity, gas, health and safety inspection, maintenance contract, gardening contract, window cleaning and external repainting. Good, I said without thinking about it. If I may say so, Mr. Acton, we haven't looked at any of these maintenance matters for more than 3 years, since I came here anyway. We ought to review them every 12 months, don't you think? Thank you, Victoria. I'd ask you if I need your opinion, I said rather abruptly. I don't want any interruptions now, please. She retreated meekly. I was becoming increasingly worried by her attitude, by turns aggressive and then submissive. I'd have to watch her. Secretaries had the potential to ruin their boss's work, and I had a big scheme to arrange. An hour later I buzzed twice, which meant come in, and in a moment she was beside my desk. I've made some notes in each of these files. It is time we put all this in order. I've given instructions to increase the frequency of maintenance visits and to get the gas and electricity people to come and inspect their installations. And I want the ecclesiastical to give us more realistic insurance cover as well. Then there is a large building and an important one in this historic city. I leave it you to write the letters. Bring them to me for signature tomorrow. Without looking at her, I turned away from the desk and got up to peer out of the window, thinking again about the budget and Eden Bottom Wood. When would Gunnersbury contact me, the fool? I had become aware that Victoria often seemed to be preoccupied for days. I guessed she would hurry through the letters, following the standard formal we had worked out, polite at the beginning, describing the review now taking place, asking for further information and new figures, all that sort of thing. Later, when I went out of the office for a moment, she told me they were nearly ready, and also that she had a date to look forward to that evening. February. At long last, a sizable parcel arrived from Gunnersbury Properties, and I put other matters aside to study it carefully. There were large-scale drawings of the site with details of the proposed buildings. A perimeter fence had been drawn around the boundary, and everything cross-referenced to Q's drawings. Near the lake was a large domed structure for the swimming pool, and the sports pitches were marked out in serried ranks. My ideas for medication and contemplation areas had been cunningly interpreted. The fig tree plantation and the area of aconites and bluebells had been included. Gunnersbury had obviously listened carefully. Why didn't the diocese work like this? Efficient, sensitive, professional. And there were the cabins set at angles to each other, arranged in such a way that their occupants could see nothing but trees when they were inside. Even the drainage pipes and septic tanks were included. It would be a triumph of engineering and design, and a huge success. It would draw hundreds, thousands even, to experience peace and calm, and to find refreshment for their souls. It would give a new purpose to all our work. The sting came, however, in the projected costing for the project. Gunnersbury had talked with some of his backers and had put together a big financial package to fund the project, but $3 million was still needed to complete the deal. Could the diocese find this sum? It would be an essential contribution if it was going to succeed. Our final input would be regarded, he said in his letter, as an indication of commitment to the project as a whole. Without it, the deal might well collapse. I sat in my chair thinking furiously about this new challenge, sweating profusely. I damn well got to make it work. The diocese would go under if I didn't, and the bishop wanted me to do it. I punched Victoria's number, and a few moments later she came in with a cup of tea. Saying nothing, but I think not failing to notice my agitation, she went straight out again. 4 buzzers meant tea and no talking. In a moment of decision, I took a file marked Reserves, which I kept locked in my desk. In it were the details of a fund in which the capitalist assets of the diocese were invested and which produced a modest return. There was a reasonable sum in it. If I'd used that, I was responsible for the management of the diocese money, and this was a clear management decision. It would be perfectly safe. The project could hardly fail, and income would begin to flow before there were any call on any of it. And for the rest, well, I could vie the balance from the stipends fund without too much difficulty. It wouldn't get out until the accounts were presented the following year, by which time I'd have put it all back in again. That was it. I'd talked to Hatton about it already, of course, but he'd have to know about this further development. I couldn't work without the detailed agreement of my chairman. Taking a deep breath, I picked up the phone and keyed in his number. "Alex, it's Richard," I said when I was put through. "Can I see you?" "Tomorrow. I'll come to you. It's the Eden Plot scheme." "No, something has come up. I won't need long." "Is that all right? Good. I'll be there at 2. More to read tomorrow. Hope you enjoyed the Eden Plot. Please sub me if you liked it.